The California Attorney General says it's cruel and unusual punishment to make a child attend an unsafe school. 60 Minutes looks at violence in the classroom this Sunday on CBS.
You and KREM-2, you're looking good.
KREM-TV Channel 2 in Spokane is seen in 4 states and southern Canada on community-owned and operated translator systems. We urge you to support the translator system serving your community.
You and KREM-2, you're looking good.
Saturday night at 11:15, Julie Christie and Warren Beatty star in McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
No, I haven't got a lot of time to sit around and talk to a man who's too dumb to see a good proposition when it's put to him. Do we make a deal or don't we?
There's going to come a time when I tell you my half-interest, go to San Francisco and buy me a legitimate morning out. But right now, I don't want those small timers screwing up my business.
Be sure to watch McCabe and Mrs. Miller Saturday night at 11:15 here on KREM-2.
At KREM-2 News, our job is to get the facts behind the story. We take the time to research and investigate stories that are important to you.
Cascade Flight 201. Evidence from our own investigation indicates...
But unless law enforcement problems between the county and the tribe are resolved, it's just as simple as we haven't got enough money to pay them.
KREM-2 News is not afraid to dig into the issues to make sure you're getting the full story. KREM-2 News. We don't just cover the news, we uncover it.
You and KREM-2, you're looking good.
Agriculture 81, presenting news and varying points of view on farming in the Inland Empire. Here is the broadcast editor for the Washington State Grange, Adrian DeVries.
Thank you. This is an opportunity to meet a charming young lady who's going to represent the Inland Empire in the month of June as a candidate in the Washington State Dairy Princess contest. I could suppose that she might be getting a little bit nervous and looking forward to it with anticipation. We'll meet Wendy Walsh in a moment.
Hello, I'm Steve Alexander.
And I'm Beverly Carr. This week, a special edition of Northwest Gallery, Mount St. Helens a year later. I'll have reports from the mountain as it is now, and we'll remember on videotape what happened that Sunday in May.
We'll find out how Spokane, Ritzville, and Moses Lake are faring a year after the ash and see how it's affected our agriculture and our health.
That's Mount St. Helens a year later on Northwest Gallery, Sunday, just before 60 Minutes on KREM-2.
I understand, Wendy, that you've been in this role as princess for about a year.
Right. My contest was over April 18th.
And this places you as a person that's had some experience perhaps meeting with others, talking about the dairy industry, which is dear to your heart. Before we get into that discussion, tell us where you live, where the farm home is.
I live 10 miles north of Spokane on the Deer Park Highway on a dairy farm, dryland farm.
Interesting. Dryland meaning?
We raise all our own hay for our cows, plus we raise some grain.
And none of that cropping program is under irrigation then? As
right, it's all dry land.
Well, what kind of herd do you have?
We have Holsteins. We have about 100 Holsteins, and every day, twice a day, we milk 50 cows.
That's a full order business.
Right.
For, I don't know how many members of the family, but I suspect you're involved too in the milking program.
Right, I feed the cows every day.
Twice a day?
Twice a day.
All right. That, if one would just think through on the assignment, they could realize that that's a lot of time devoted just to caring for the herd. Do you have any production records you'd care to share with us?
Oh, this last year, our cow, Arrow, made the top 4-year-old on the DHIA records, and she had 1,068 pounds of butter fat in a 305-day lactation period.
I'm going to guess that DHIA means Dairy Herd Improvement Association records, which is certainly a scale to work in and also do what you can to improve that yield or record, and you can be proud of this particular cow.
Mm-hmm.
And is it still producing well?
She sure is, and she's turned out some really good little cows for me.
Now we're talking. Well, when you've made your visits with people in this great inland empire, what are you telling the folks about the dairy business or the product?
Just that milk is the most natural food there is, and it's really good for us. It's got 141 nutrients in it, and you can't go wrong with milk.
Well said. Are you encouraged by the consumption of milk, or is it down a bit, or how does it stack up?
Oh, well, the dairy industry has really, really improved. We've had a lot more the dairy a lot more production. Like one cow in 1 year will fill a pool 10 feet by 10 feet and 2 feet deep. And with all the cows in America, there's like 10 billion cows in America, we're making a lot of milk, and the production's a little bit down. Or the production is up, but the consumption is a little bit down.
So part of your role is to help turn that consumption rate around a bit. Promote the consumption of milk. And it wouldn't hurt to underline the nutritive values of milk, as you've tried to do and will continue to do, I'm sure. Well, next month you compete for the honor of Dairy Princess for Washington State.
Washington State.
Well, we're proud of you as our Inland Empire Dairy Princess. Have a lot of faith in your success over in the other side of the state in mid-June, and we hope to see you somewhere down the road as we continue to talk about this subject of milk.
Thank you.
And in that regard, we would look forward to keeping in touch with that which goes on in Olympia along about the 14th, 15th, and 16th of June when the princess will be chosen.
Be with us Monday through Friday at this time for more farm news of the Inland Empire on Agriculture 81 with Adrian DeVries, broadcast editor for the Washington State Grange.
A century ago, the preachers of the West were known as circuit riders. Although the mode of transportation may be different, a few still exist today. Jim Howell is one of them. For 25 years, he's been flying to remote towns in northern Idaho to be a pastor for isolated people.
I didn't know the church was doing that.